Hello everyone, welcome to another Autogefühl series. Today we're gonna look at one of the most popular cars in the world, the all-new Volkswagen Passat. It is the second most selling car in Germany. Worldwide it resides among the top 10 cars, along with its sister model Magotan in China. Everyone knows the Passat and everyone knows what to expect. Until now. With the all-new Volkswagen Passat, Volkswagen is attacking the premium segment for the very first time. And today we are going to see if this is going to work. The main changes include new turbocharged 4-cylinder engines, weight savings up to 80 kilograms and a new refined interior with a new infotainment system, which we know from the Audi TT in the similar modus, and new security systems. We're gonna have a look at them later. Now let's start with the exterior. Looking at the design, we do not see something that could frighten very loyal Passat customers, but the whole car appears more mature and more sporty. For example, here the horizontal blades that are continued into the headlights stress the broadness of the car. We have turned on the LED daytime running lights here, and they have a very sharp look at everything that lies ahead. Strong, that is the guiding principle here, and we can see also this design line here on the hood is shaped stronger than before. The same is also seen here on the side profile, where this design line is at the same height at the handles. This dropping line is continued all the way until the rear, and here we have a look at the new rear lights, which have lost its very rounded curve. Maybe you remember before this looked a little bit old-fashioned, so no pity that it's gone now. I think the exterior all in all, along with the 18-inch alloys, works very well and is a very well-rounded package. Normally the Passat isn't made to arouse too much attention and not to be too much pretentious. But now with the all-new model, for the very first time, the Passat could actually attract customers who buy it because of its design and not only its coupe model CC. Actually, it might be quite interesting to see what happens to the CC now the all-new Passat is being introduced. What do you think? Please write it into the comments and tell me. Do you like the all-new Passat better? Or what do you think to it in comparison to the CC? Please let me know. I'm going to read your comments. Now let's have a look under the hood. Opening is pretty easy here because it's in hydraulic motion. The new 4-cylinder turbocharged engines have lost weight and are less fuel consuming. That is especially important as the Passat is running in big corporate fleets. For example, in Germany, 9 out of 10 Passats are sold as diesels. That's also an indication on how high the commercial portion is. So the less fuel consuming vehicle is probably preferred by companies. So it's, I think, a very good move and also a very necessary one. The base engine of the all-new Passat is a 1.4 liter TSI with 150 horsepower. As diesels, there will be the 2 liter TDI, which we see here, with 150 horsepower, and also the version with 240 horsepower. The small engines offer a 6-speed DSG on option. The big diesel serially comes with a 7-speed DSG. Furthermore, the big diesel has the all-wheel drive as a standard in order to bring the massive power at all on the road. There is also a plug-in hybrid available for the first time in the Passat. It's called the Passat GTE. Thomas has shown you this version from the Paris Motor Show in one of the latest videos. I'm gonna link it in the video description, so have a look at that one as well. Let's look at the interior. One of the major changes in the all-new Passat. And the first impression you have when you come into this cockpit, you really see Volkswagen has gone premium with this car. Look at those refined materials, at those very stringent and clean design lines. And for example, those materials as the brushed aluminium here at the front. For the first time, Volkswagen introduces the active info display right here. We know this under the Audi virtual cockpit from the all-new Audi TT. And here you can see how it is moving. If you're interested in the one from the Audi TT as well, have a look at the video. I'm going to link to that under this video, so you can move through this. So here we see we have a consumption of 7.4 liters with our 2 liter TDI with 150 horsepower. I'm gonna expect that's gonna go down a little bit. We haven't been driving so far today, so if we go more on the Autobahn, for example, it will be less. What else can I show you here? It's very interesting to see that you can also have the navigation here. So you have it right into your field of vision, so the driver doesn't have to look down necessarily. So here it can even get a little bit bigger. You see those elements here, they get a little bit smaller, so you can even see it better. That was already the big part. And here you have those displays all digital. That is the most important change. For me, it's a little bit unusual. I mean, if you are used to those analog elements, it's a difference. It has a rather, I would say, it appears to me to be a flat design, even though it's not. It's a little bit 3D with the shadows. I think you're gonna get used to it very soon. as it is a very clear display of colors. So for me, I like it. I would like to know, what do you think about this change? Do you say, oh, analog displays, they're dear to my heart? Or do you think, come on, this is very modern, let's go for this? I mean, we do have an analog element in this cockpit, and it's right here. It shows us the time. The infotainment system in this car is not only driver focused, but can also be adjusted from the center console. So the co-driver can also have a go here with this system, have a look at those functions. You can see here, you have different options to go here. For example, the navigation system, you can type everything in. You can have a look at the traffic news, as well the car, or the general menu. For example, the mirror link function, where you can have a look at your smartphone, at the contents of your smartphone mirrored in the digital system of your car, for example.
And now also hello from my side, Thomas, because I'm very anxious to see how the iPhone connection works with this car, especially the mirror link. We're starting with a basic Bluetooth function. So I'm going here to phone now, search telephone. Okay, activating the Bluetooth here. This is live, by the way. I've never done it with an all-new Passat before. Okay, results. iPhone 4, that's just mine, I just call it iPhone 4. Very creative. Okay, then just confirm here, confirm here. What do you think? I think that was pretty fast. So my iPhone is connected for choosing the phones. Let's see like the last calls. People here, don't call these numbers, please. People will wonder. Okay, all my contacts. Yes, all the contacts are there. Media, let's see how that works, how fast that works. Okay, we have to use a source. Bluetooth audio. Bluetooth audio phone. Okay, maybe play. Something coming. I'm not hearing anything yet. What's going on? Music. Above and beyond. There it is. Okay, music works as well. And now let's try the mirror link, because this is completely new. You need a special app for it, and we are searching an expert later on, or maybe another device, to show you how it works. This doesn't work via Bluetooth because you have a high data rate there. The mirror link is supposed to mirror your whole smartphone on the screen. So one app I can show you best here is probably the My Guide from the own Volkswagen apps. And this one is there that you can copy your points of interest from your smartphone directly to the GPS. So if you can, for example, your favorite restaurant, you got on your smartphone, then you can choose it, and then he ports it into the GPS and automatically starts the navigation to that point.
What you notice immediately when sitting in the Passat, that here you have a lot of space around you, to the sides and also to the head. Even though this is a classic sedan, you have more headroom than in most of the vans. That is something I noticed immediately, and it gives me a very premium-like feeling when sitting here. What I especially like about this car are those ergo comfort seats. I have sat in the front, and it feels like you're sitting not on a sofa, because a sofa would be too slouchy. You're sitting on a very comfortable chair, a little bit like, what you call it, like a single chair. But it's not like you feel you're slouching. It's like it gives you the right position, but with enough softness for you to sink in a little bit. I don't know, some of you might know those pillows with those memory functions. Well, it feels a little bit like that. And here in the back it's also comfortable sitting. It's no problem for an adult to sit here, even though with very long legs. Some of you might know I have very long legs. And for me it's even comfortable when the seat in front of me has a normal position. What I notice as being very comfortable as well are those headrests here. They can be adjusted quite easily, and they're also very well done and very soft. Also here in the back you see the refined interior with those very nice lights. They're very dim, not too much, but also it gives, yeah, a very, I can just say it's a premium atmosphere, which I like. When you're looking at it from the outside, the trunk doesn't look as spacious as it actually is. I mean, that's one of the reasons why you buy a Passat. You have maybe a big family, or you have some things to transport. You buy the Sedan or the Variant with even more space. We're going to show you that later. But still here, it's very long and steep in there. You can put as much shopping things as you want in there. Also maybe some beer bottles or whatever you're transporting in your car. But it's definitely enough space for everything, whatever you need. So I'm gonna flip the seats now by pushing this button, by pulling this button. And there you have even more space, so when you need to transport some extraordinary things, I don't know what you do in your free time. We have a 2/3, 1/3 back row, and we can also flip the last 1/3 with a lot of power from the ladies. No, it's actually, it works quite well, but you have to push, or better say, pull really hard. So what you can see back here, it's also, it is not middle class what you see here at the back. Also with the electric function, you can close this automatically. It's definitely upper class.
So let's get to some driving. What do you realize first when driving the all-new Volkswagen Passat? That it's very silent and relaxing. I hardly have ever seen or heard a car that is so well isolated. They really paid a lot of attention to it, and so no matter what happens outside, how many other cars are driving, it's really, really silent. So it's a perfect car to relax. And what else you need for that? Of course, a very good suspension. And I've tested some slow riding now, cruising a little bit faster, then also some more sporty areas. And they have firstly paid attention to the comfort here. So it's really relaxing to ride. I think it's also benchmark suspension wise. But then again, also a sporty driving mode is possible. So it's no problem if you switch around your driving modes, just how the road is surfaced. That I think is a very good compromise I found here. And all the materials here, especially on the steering wheel, they just feel very well when you touch them. And the vision is also very good, to the back as well. Even the rear mirror looks good in detail, so I think they have paid a lot of attention to small details here. I'm also very convinced of this ergo comfort seats. They are optional, but they offer you on the surface just a little area to sink in, that it adapts to your body. But then they are stiff enough from the basic function that you also hold you tight for longer roads, or also when it gets more sporty. Here, by the way, we have Alcantara on the middle areas, and I think it's artificial leather on the outside. I think this is a very good mix, because you know, you don't need genuine leather. It's not really needed anymore today, and you don't sweat on it so much in the summer times, and it's not cold in the winter times. So we basically got a higher trim level here, but not the highest, and I think this kind of middle compromise is very good. The Ergo composites also offer a massage function, especially good when you're like a businessman and travel 30,000 kilometers a year or something like that. That might also be a big advantage if you pick these special seats there. Looking at the active input display now in front of me, I think it really helps me to concentrate on the road, because otherwise I would have to look there to the central screen, and now I have to just move my eyes a little bit. I think that really helps you to pay attention to the road even more. In general, I also see this interiors in front of me. It's also soft plastics, and here it's not quite black. It's a little bit brown touch. It's also something different, and I think these solutions, that you had something different than the ordinary, brings this car to this premium atmosphere, and it's also a premium feeling of driving, because it really feels superior. If you just imagine, how should a car drive? I mean, not a super sports car, not an off-road car, but just like a normal car, a normal good car. How should it drive? How should it behave in corners? How should the suspension work? I think this one is just a mirror of this imagination, how the optimal car should drive. And I'm not saying this about a lot of cars. So in my opinion, especially driving wise, this will be a new benchmark here. It sets the standards, especially in this class, and maybe also in a wider scale. And now to show you the performance of the 2-liter TDI with 150 horsepower, that diesel performance, let's see. So that was the sprint from 0 to 100. I think quite impressive for this 2-liter diesel, and that shows you don't lack horsepower at all.
So we have a second car here for you to look at. This car is interesting for 3 reasons. First of all, it's a variant, how it's called in Germany, an estate, how it's called in Great Britain, or a wagon, how the Americans say. Also, it has the best trim level, so it's interesting to see how far does it go premium. And all in all, it's got the most power with 240 horsepower. So let's have a close look. the Variant, you don't have the shaped roof line, which loses a little bit of space like the Sedan. You can see how the roof goes all the way back until it drops right here at the rear, which gives you a more spacious and a higher trunk. That is very important to people who buy the Variant. They like to transport bigger things or like to be flexible with the transportation. Design-wise, I like the Sedan better because it's simply more shaped like a car and it has those very refined forms. But here, this, I mean, come on, look at it. It looks a little bit like a square, a rectangle with a nose. So, I mean, it's a car which is practical. You buy it because you really need the space. You have a big family or you have a garden, you need to transport big bags. That is why you would buy this car. And I think if you really have those purposes and you really have those needs, then this is a very good option. And in this color, the Harvard blue, it really looks nice. When the trunk is the main reason to buy this car, we're gonna have a look into the trunk now. Here the cover flips automatically back when we open the trunk, so you see it's pulled back, but you can also adjust it so nobody can see what precious things you keep in here. So most importantly, in the trunk you have more space and it's easier to get things in here as you have the entrance at the same level. What I find very practical are those elements at the sides where you can put things in, but this is the first element we found not to be so premium in this car. Very nice here with the aluminium element, so it's very practical with this trunk and of course easy to close it. And by the way, if you want to use a trailer, there is a very practical function here. And finally, to flip the seats. As you can see, nothing can beat the space of a Passat estate. For example, if you're wondering what this here is, this is to hold boxes tight. You can move it here and you can adjust it wherever you need it. You can also flip it up, but I cannot do it from this point of view here. As the roof goes all the way back to the trunk, you have even more space here in the roof department. There's quite a way up here and it goes all the way back there, so there's more air to fill, so to say. For my legs there is also here enough space, and I really like the color of the interior design. It's very fine and it's very nice with those stitches here. I like that. I'm gonna show you also the front here, which you already know from the all-new Passat as a sedan version. But I'm showing you this because now we got the highest trim level with the all leather seats, for example, or those wooden veneers here in front. So you can also have a look at this. It looks pretty nice to me. You have of course the same elements and it feels very, very elegant. And some of you might know I really like it when it's really light. Not only the seats but also the roof, which is made very nicely here from a textile material.
And now my comments to the driving side of this version. We still got the basic same engine here, 2.0 liter diesel, but the version with 240 horsepower, as Katrina said. And this really makes a huge difference. Well, why? The first big difference is that in this case we got the all-wheel drive, and this is really necessary because this engine has so much torque that you wouldn't get the power properly to the ground if you wouldn't have the all-wheel drive. The all-wheel drive, as we use from Volkswagen and Audi, is front-wheel drive plus rear-wheel drive, so the rear wheels get into action if needed. Usually just the front wheels are active. In this case, the DSG, the dual clutch transmission, is also serial with a smaller diesel engine, the 150 horsepower one. We also had it in this case, but it is optional. This one, 240 horsepower diesel, you just get in the combination with the DSG, and of course it just works flawless. You don't really feel the car shifting. What's the general difference in driving? Well, the small diesel, I said earlier, is just for relaxed driving, and you just feel comfortable and you ride along, you cruise and just have fun. Listen to it, it's silent and really great. But that one here is, well, more has this sportier attitude, and I realized it myself. I was just driving faster immediately because it was more fun. There was instant torque, and you almost sometimes feel like in a small sports car, although you are even in a wagon here now. So this one is really recommended for the guys who have sportier attitude if you want to spend the money. I say you are really fine with the small diesel. It has enough torque, and also on the motorway you can overtake people. It will be no problem. Just if you really think, okay, I can just spend the money for an even bigger engine, then you can even have lots of more fun with the throttle. However, the consumption will also be higher. From the numbers we have here, my guess is that with a bigger diesel engine, because you also drive faster yourself, it's not just the engine, because also the habits of the driver change with the engine. So in the end, I think you will land up with about 2 liters diesel more per 100 kilometers, and this might land something between 8 and 9 liters on 100 kilometers, whereas a smaller diesel probably land with 6 to 7 liters. So the acceleration test now with a 240 horsepower diesel DSG again. We got a little bit uphill road here now, but still I think we can see how much more power this one has. And what is interesting, here we can also turn off the DSG, the traction control. So let's see. Wow. It's almost like a launch control start in a sports car. That is really impressive, unbelievable. And this with a family wagon or business wagon. Incredible. By the way, we also got the optional rear view camera here with the 360-degree surround view at the left side. So here we can see where we're going, and we also got the high resolution camera. But I must say, here in the background it gets a little bit blurry. And on the left side we got this fake drone view, 360 degrees. because we got cameras all surrounded here, and also we got the optical sensor that is warning when we get too close to something. So let me sum up the all-new Volkswagen Passat for you. In my opinion, this car is a new benchmark, not only for the middle class segment, but for cars on the market in general. First of all, the design is classy, but still very attractive, so you don't arouse too much attention, but you still look dynamic and sporty and very elegant. The interior is really stunning, it's pure premium, it's very clean, fluent lines, and also the functionality is very good. You get around very easily, and the new virtual cockpit, as Audi is called, here's it, active info display. This new display also adds some more safety, maybe because you don't have to switch your vision that much, and also adds more to attraction to the interior because it looks more modern, and you have this, especially the GPS function, just in your view side. Also, sitting in the rear compartment is so spacey, even better than in some vans or big SUVs, even if you just pick the sedan version, which will be the most important worldwide. The estate or variant or wagon version will rather be important in Germany and in Great Britain, but that one we have as well, so you have more flexibility there. Then about the engines, okay, in my opinion the Volkswagen engines consume a little bit too much still, but they are very powerful and extremely silent. The comfort inside is so good, especially with the Ergo Comfort seats, and you get so great noise cancellation that you don't almost hear anything when driving inside. The GSG dual clutch transmission works flawless. Also the suspension is just superb. So all in all these factors are really a benchmark for the whole industry. And if you now think about the middle class segment, if you buy an Audi A4 or maybe a BMW 3 Series, no one would ever have thought before, okay, maybe you think about buying a Passat. Now you can, and you really save money, because this one here now, it starts in Germany, for example, about 30,000 euros. Later on there will also be a cheaper entry version with a smaller engine, 25,000 euros. And I've tested some out with the trim levels and compare it to the other premium manufacturers. You save about like 3,000 euros in comparison to the Audi A4 with same trim level, also BMW 3 Series, and sometimes even in higher trim levels, especially up to 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 euros in comparison to the Mercedes C-Class. So this one is really the cheaper pick, but is it the worst pick? No way. In future this will also be a premium car and a choice if you want exactly that segment. And well, maybe some people say, I will only buy BMW, I will only buy Mercedes, then it's kind of fixed. But everyone who is not fixed on a certain brand will have to consider this one in the middle segment from now on.